appealed by local contact teams relate to the zoning that we're doing.
But what's the actual amendment? You're saying what it's about. What is it?
Yeah, the amendment is that we direct staff to continue and to perform outreach and make contact with each of the contact teams in the neighborhoods, and after all of our mapping decisions are complete, to give them a list of all of the zoning changes that were made, and to give them the opportunity to object to any of those. So these would be the smoothing ones.
I like this. Is there a second to this amendment? Yeah. All right, second by Commissioner White.
And that those objections go ahead and be incorporated into the Planning Commission map where they do not conflict with like formula changes that we made.
Okay. Commissioner Kenny with a second by Commissioner White to direct staff to do outreach from this as to where their areas are impacted.
And just to be clear, everybody, this is the Respect the Neighborhood plans. And to be more specific, that if the contact teams request a zone that is somewhat, it's in the range of equivalency, but it's a different equivalency than maybe staff picked, that they be given the opportunity to do that, and that be incorporated into our recommendation.
Okay. So I'm willing to be the second as long as this is not that this isn't replacing the work that they already did. Are we asking them to once again come in and say where they have conflicts with the map?
No, I've gotten responses from I think 6 or 7, and I will be handing those over to staff.
Okay.
And yeah,
great.
So we have motion and second. Is there opposition to this?
Call the question. Call the question.
Hold on, can we add to it? Because you're talking about neighborhood plan contact teams. These
Microphone closer, I think.
These are corridors, and there's areas that don't have neighborhood plans. And so what would the outreach be in those areas that don't
there would
have
be none in that case because there has been a lot of outcry to respect neighborhood plans. I have not heard a lot of outcry to respect based zoning in areas that don't have adopted small area plans and are thus not part of Imagine Austin.
I will cry out to respect based zoning in areas that don't have neighborhood plans.
Okay, so, all right, we have a call to question. I'm allowing that. Seconded by Commissioner Kazi. All those in favor of taking up this amendment now, please say aye. Those opposed?
Yes. I have questions.
I have questions.
Yeah. May I ask questions now or at some point?
No, it did not pass.
No.
Go ahead, Commissioner McGraw, Commissioner Seeger.
Well, I'm not sure what we're talking about. Are we going to have the Planning Commission map at some point?
We will never see a
what we're
map
doing.
before it goes to council.
We will what?
We will not see a map. From what staff has told me, we will not see a map of what we recommend before it goes to council. Our recommendations will create a map for council.
So what is the timeline? Do we have a timeline on
We
that?
discussed this in the last meeting. Staff told us they could not create one until at least next week or the week after or the week after that. Something along those lines.
But I imagine that council will be taking some time to take this up and that staff can come with perhaps updates that may not get to and say, hey, we heard from this contact team and they requested reversals of these zonings that don't conflict with Planning Commission's decisions.
I would like to offer a substitute motion that we table all other...
This is an amendment, and we can't do a substitute on an amendment. And
Wait, no, this is a base motion.
this is a new base motion. No, this is an amendment to what we're. These are all amendments to what we're doing. We're not going to swap out to get out of this whole thing.
Oh,
See.
we're staying in the car.
We're staying in the car.
Got it.
Yeah, you can start voting things down.
Okay.
But yeah.
Can we split it?
Yes, Commissioner Seeger.
What is the timeline that you're proposing that all of this information go to staff?
So staff has already produced a list of every zoning change that was not equivalent, as well as a map. They sent it to us. And those can just be sent again to contact teams. And hopefully, this is an intent to staff, and they're going to work hard to get it done. I'm sure the neighborhood contact team will get involved in this, and the contact teams just need to get their stuff in before staff kind of takes up their own mapping exercise.
I really support the idea. My concern is the time frame. We've kind of run out of time. I guess that's the issue. And council needs to get into deliberations. They need to have a map to discuss. And if new information is coming in and it's very specific, say, to parcel, then I think we're putting staff in a bind to provide something that might be impossible.
I think staff will provide council with a map regardless of whether things are still coming in. As we've seen on Planning Commission, staff has no problem giving information at the last minute as it becomes available. So I think they'll just keep giving it to them.
As well, I want to remind everybody
Okay,
that
all right.
the D3 map is about 90% equivalent, so it's
Okay.
actually not that much
Thank
land.
you. We've had two questions after a call to question on this, and so I want to make sure I'm glad we got those in. Let's all those in favor of taking up this new amendment now, please say aye. Those opposed? Abstaining? All right, so that passes 11-2. All right, all those in favor of the amendment as described by Commissioner Kenny.
We call it the Respect Neighborhood Plans Amendment.
All right, the
I
Respect
hate to do
Neighborhood
this.
Plans
Could
Amendment.
you describe the motion again?
All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Oh, hold on, no, you asked me, I was
just, what was the motion?
It's direction,
The-
just run through real quick again. It's direction to staff to make contact with neighborhood plans. Again, I've already done it once. And give them the list of rezonings that were not policy rezonings, that was decisions made by us.
I've heard enough. I remember what it is now.
Okay, cool. I know, we're getting late and we're going to start wearing out. All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed? Abstaining? All right, so that passes 10-3. Thank you. All right.